Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I know I've been missing in action for quite a while. I don't even remember the last video I put out. I think it was the Kawasaki Good Times tour. But just, yeah, life is not really conducive to making content right now. Nothing major, just busy, travel and stuff like that. So for those of you who don't know, my wife's vehicle is a 2016 Infiniti QX60 SUV, loaded to the nines for the year. The one thing it is missing, which Infiniti is, traditionally very bad at, is technology. It's missing, Apple CarPlay. It's missing Android Auto. It's missing the newer technologies that a lot of newer vehicles have, even in the 2016 model year. For example, our car still has screens in the back that require AV inputs. It's not even HDMI or anything like that. AV, the good old white, yellow, and red, RCA jacks, whatever they were called, that's like obsolete old technology. Nobody has that anymore. So, par for the course, Infiniti dropped the ball on the technology package. But luckily, there's companies like GROM Audio who make an Apple CarPlay or Android Auto interface that allows you to update your infotainment relatively easy. So if you've seen my other videos, you guys know that on my M56X, I have a GROM Audio V-Line VL2 system, which gives me not only Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but also gives me an actually full Android system, which I can install apps on. So for example, I have Torque installed, which connects to my OBD2 reader, so I can actually see on the screen real-time metrics of my car. But I can also, I can have Plex running, which is my media center, YouTube TV, or YouTube itself. Although there is a little gap or delay in the audio versus the video. They are working on a fix for that. So long story short, I got a similar system for this car now. It's called the GROM Audio VLite VT2. So I wanted to just basically do a quick demo of it in the car. I've had it running for a few weeks now. I installed it probably 2 weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago. Install was pretty easy. I had to remove, similar to the M56, the entire center stack. I did not have to remove the actual areas in the shifter here. I believe for the M56 I had to do that, but I had to also remove the glove box. And then I'll put the link in the description for how to actually install it in this vehicle. It's on Nico Club's forum, but I did have to kind of do a MacGyver cutout in the glove box to get the cables through, because unlike my car, there's no good spot to feed those cables where they won't get pinched. And you don't want to do that, because over the course of a year or 2 years, those cables being pinched will be a problem. So anyway, long story short, we got the system installed, and I want to give you a quick demo. So let's fire up the car. My phone is down here. You can see no connection, no wires, nothing. So it's the iPod input. That's the source you want to be in. But as you can see, the system is up and running. I'm sitting in a Winn-Dixie parking lot, but it's fully up and running within probably 15 seconds. The car's been on pretty recently, so that's why it connected so fast. But generally speaking, if your car's been off for a while, it might take a couple of seconds to get it. But so when you power it on, the first thing you're going to see is this screen right here. Obviously, it's already connected to my Android Auto. That's why that logo is colored. The Apple CarPlay is grayed out because I don't have an Apple. But this is the home screen that you will see. So you have the settings for the actual V-Line system here, which is very, very basic. One thing I do want to call out is you do want to have the factory climate control option selected. If you don't do that, pretty much anything you do on the buttons here, as far as climate control, etc., will pretty much instantly disappear. So you want to make sure you have that enabled. You can change the car model here. So obviously I have Infiniti. There's a couple of different ones. I wish they had a bunch more of Infinitis. So maybe that's some feedback I'll give to GROM. But you know, I didn't want to have like a Toyota showing up or a Lexus, so I did change it to Infiniti, but it ends up being a what is it, Q60, I think is that model. But that's pretty much it for the settings here. If you want to get into the settings of like the Wi-Fi, you know, to do the updates, what you actually have to do is have to click on support and then scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see at the bottom there's an all settings button. So you want to click on that, and that will bring you into the typical setup here, where you can actually do things like Wi-Fi to do the updates, you know, Bluetooth, change your date and time if you need to. But if you go to about phone, this is where you do the updates. So you have the VLite system updates, and then you have reboot options in, scroll up a little bit, it's a little clunky sometimes. In here you'll have the updates section as well as the reboot section. So if you have to reboot it for any reason, that's how you would do that. Otherwise, you can just unplug it in the glove box, and that will effectively reset it as well. But the main difference between this version and the V line that exists in my car, or that's installed in my car, is that this is just Apple CarPlay and just Android Auto. It is nothing else. There's no other apps that you can install. It runs the apps on your phone, but you can't put it specifically on the GROM, like the Torque app, for example. So it's not going to be able to show you your metrics on the screen. It's not going to do things like that. You can't watch videos on the screen. This is mostly just for maps, you know, maybe answering text messages with your voice. I do have the mic up there installed, so it feeds all the way down there through the headliner, and then down the A-pillar into the glove box in there. But again, I'll put the link in the description of how I did the install with the wires and everything. But install took me, I want to say, like 2 hours, but I was going very slow because I didn't know this car. I never took it apart before, because this is our family car, so it has virtually no mods on it at all. So I had to kind of feel out the process and kind of, you know, figure out things as I went. But car settings option here is basically brings you back to the actual car system, where you can actually change, you know, settings, you know, for the actual car. If you want to go back to the GROM, you just hit, you know, the disc aux button, which gets you back to the iPod source. Again, if you're in Android Auto, and you know, actually one thing to call out is if you go out and back in, the screen would be black. The way to get out of this black screen is to hit the home button again, and then go into the app you want. This is feedback I do have to still provide to GROM Audio. This actually happens also on the V line, not just the VLite, so it's across their suite of products. But it works great. You know, you have all the Android Auto capable apps in here. So you know, I have my Plex server, which really is for Plex music. It's not gonna really show video here, but all my music apps, you have the Waze and you have Google Maps. It's very quick. The system software is optimized for this chip, and it works very well. The other thing is the Android Auto system in here is obviously, you know, up to date, so it's using the new version, which has split screen for certain apps. So you have the scroll bar, or the toolbar here, and you have a split screen that you can set there. So it's all very modern, completely new system. I think they released this VLite system back in December, I want to say, and I got it, you know, in mid-February, late February, somewhere in that area. So it's still a pretty new system. I'm probably the first one to install it in this car. As far as I know, I haven't seen this mentioned on any of the Facebook groups or the Nico Club forum. So hopefully this, you know, helps shed some light on what the system does and what it can do. And you know, if you guys are interested in upgrading your systems to be more modern, this is the easiest way to go. GROM, in my opinion, having the V line in my car for about, I want to say three maybe 4 years now, and this system now in this car, I can't say enough good things about it. It's the best bang for the buck, in my opinion. Is it perfect? No. There's definitely some issues like that black screen that I had earlier in the video, where you have to, you know, click the home button again. But that's all software stuff that can be tweaked. It can be fixed. But there's nothing hardware-wise, in my opinion, that is a problem. So, you know, full thumbs up from me. I definitely recommend the GROM audio. So that's the demo. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. I'll be happy to answer anything. Again, not a super hard install. I'd give it a, you know, a 5 out of 10, just because I wasn't sure of how to actually do it in this car. But their manual did provide me with the you know, the key information for which connectors go where on the radio and the back of the screen. So their documentation was good. You know, so everything was good. That being said, again, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. All right, guys, take care.